All right, we're shoving off. I wonder if I could pull a skier behind me. Welcome back. I am Pat, aka Show Me Retro. Thank you for joining me for this, I guess it's a special video. I haven't done this before. Kind of doing what the cool kids are doing. Instead of a walk and talk, gonna do a yak and talk. Hence, I'm in a kayak. First things first. Oh, a goose just landed. So I am currently in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. I'm house sitting for my sister. Cape is a beautiful, beautiful town down south of Missouri. Very quiet, very friendly people, southern hospitality. Everybody waves. And we're in this little gated community that is very quiet and peaceful. And I'm on like a 15-acre lake. Now they do have some growth that has cropped up, more so this year than in years past. I do not have my spinning reels, so I'm kind of working with what I got here. I'm going to be fishing while talking, and I'm going to be using a Weed This Frog. It did really well yesterday. I caught probably 10, missed maybe 25. So I have a very low success rate with setting the hook here. It's difficult. Well, if I would check my lure here, my hooks are very sharp, but it's just the nature of these things and how the fish takes it depends on your set. Sometimes waiting longer, sometimes waiting less. I haven't really perfected it my whole life, honestly. I've been fishing my whole life, but weedless frogs are not my forte, so I'm doing what I can here. But we're going to be talking about Arcade1up and Robotron. Now, I did a video not that long ago. It was an April Fool's video, kind of a trolling video, but it did have a serious message. And that was talking about this rumored Robotron 2084 release for Arcade1up. And yeah, so in a minute here we're going to talk about that. Also, I did want to point out that it's about 8:30 in the morning, 75 degrees currently with some high humidity, probably about a 70% humidity. It's going to be a scorcher today. Probably low 90s with a heat index of close to 100. If you know what a heat index is, if you're from the Midwest, that is what the temperature feels like, but not necessarily is. Personally, I call a heat index what the temperature is. Now, I'm going to kind of park in these grasses. I'm not going to throw out an anchor or nothing. It's pretty calm right now. It was a little windier yesterday. So let's try and do this. Okay, so let's get to the meat and potatoes of this video. Now, as I said, I did a video recently about Robotron 2084 and Arcade1up, and essentially what I basically equated to being a shit show if it does come out. And I fully stand by what I said in that video. There's a lot of reasons for that. I really don't want to get into it. I will link that video if you'd like to see it. And honestly, I didn't get hardly any blowback. I actually don't think I got one negative comment. I didn't delete any comments. I swear on that. I don't know if some are held. I haven't checked. But I asked people, leave me a comment. I'm sure there's going to be some doozies. And leave your comments. I'm sure there's going to be some doozies. There weren't. Now, people may have just didn't want to leave a comment, thought I was just being an asshole, trolling. I don't know. But a lot of people agreed with what I said. So if you have any additional information, you want to leave me a comment, go right ahead. I will link that video and I'd love to hear your thoughts on why Arcade1up hasn't released that yet, and why I think that it's going to be a shit show. Now, the reason for this yak and talk is Michael B. the Game Genie, great content creator. I will link him also in the description. Oh, there's one. Got him. Got him. Come on. This one's a little bigger. Hold on here. Not that big, but man, he engulfed that thing. Hopefully I can get this out. There we go. I don't know how big he is. He's a little over a pound. Felt good. Largemouth bass. One of the best game fish there is. All right, where was I? Michael B. Got me all messed up here. So Michael B put out a video a few weeks ago, and it was in relation to Arcade1up's official YouTube page. They do this thing called the Arcade1 update. Clever name, very clever name. And they had Eugene Jarvis on there. And if you're familiar with Eugene Jarvis, he is the creator of many, many games, one of which is Robotron 2084. So the thought was, well, Eugene's on there. He's gonna announce that this is going to be released on there for Arcade1up, probably with Smash TV. Well, that didn't really happen. Now, just because that didn't happen, he did bring it up, and I think that was more of a kind of a teaser. It's probably going to happen, so let's bring Eugene on. But Mike did a video, and he talked about, again, his love for this game. Mike and I have a shared interest. I also love Robotron very, very much. I play it probably about 5 times a week. I'm not that good. I don't think Mike is that good either. That doesn't change the fact that we both love this game. My high score, and just in case you're wondering, I believe, maybe I'll put a screenshot up there, is about 230 something K. Don't know where Mike's at. Really doesn't matter. Again, you can love a game and still suck at it. But there's another one. Got him. Got off. See, I'm already 1 for 2. Shouldn't have fucking said anything. Every time that happens, everything gets jacked up. So, where was I? All right, so Mike put out this video, again, talking about it, how much he loves this and how much he wants it so bad. Everybody in the community just wants this for Mike. Man, another one. Nope, he never even swallowed it. So I left a comment on that video. I can't remember exactly what it is. I'll probably show it on screen and post. But in that comment, I said very respectfully, Mike, please explain to me why you need an Arcade1up version of this game when you've got a perfectly good version of the game right behind you. And by that I mean he plays Robotron currently on his ALU, which, if you're not familiar, is an At Games Legends Ultimate. Essentially, it's a multicade running coin ops. They're relatively inexpensive. If you buy them on the secondhand market, you can still get one brand new in the 600 range. And they also have this thing called a bit LCD. And the bit LCD is like an active marquee, meaning that any game that you change to, it will automatically display the marquee for that game. And it's real slick. It almost tricks you in a way that it makes you feel like you're playing on that original cabinet. Now, it's not the same thing, obviously, and the ALU doesn't look quite like, arcades from back then. It's much thinner, but it is taller than Arcade1up's. It is also much heavier than an Arcade1up, and it's got a bigger screen. Now, it is a wide screen. I think it's a 20-something inch, 24 if I'm not correct. And then when you crop that, it's probably, again, I don't have one. I play mine on my multicade, but I'm assuming it's probably around 19 after you crop it, maybe 20. I know mine's 21, and I have a 32-inch widescreen. The point is that I was saying, Mike, explain to me why you would want this Arcade1up version that's going to be inferior. Clearly, they've screwed just about every release up. So why do you need that when you already have a very good way of playing it? It's got a larger deck. Again, something you need spaced out really nicely for both joysticks. That's the way Robotron plays. You got 2 sticks. Buttons really don't come into play. It's just movement from the left and then shooting from the right. So you can be walking to the left and then shoot in any direction while you're walking in any direction. And Mike responded, which was very nice of him. And he said, very simple. He said, it's simple. It's just nostalgia. It's nostalgia for that cabinet. Again, I didn't look at the reply right before I filmed this. But I'm pretty sure it was basically nostalgia. It was the artwork. It was the marquee. It was hopefully cabinet design. Again, this is Arcade1up. You don't know what you're going to get. And I replied back then, Mike, so what you're saying is you don't get nostalgia playing your ALU with Robotron currently? Is that what you're telling me? And he said, no, I don't. And sorry, but I don't agree with that. Now, I can't speak for Mike, but this is just someone else who's playing it on a very similar device. My cabinet is definitely much heavier than an ALU. Again, my screen's a little bit bigger. I'm running IL sticks, so I don't know how they compare to an ALU, but an ALU's got pretty good, stock sticks. And I just don't agree with that. To me, I don't feel any loss. When I play Robotron on my machine, I don't have this longing. I don't have this empty space going, oh man, there's just something not right here. The marquee doesn't match. The control panel's not the same. I don't have that artwork. I mean, sure, I would love to play it on the original. I actually had an opportunity to buy the original. There was a restored one on Facebook in my area, not far from me. They wanted $2,500, I believe. This was about, 8 months ago. I had talked to Rexer about it, and obviously I think he said do it. But here's my thing. There's no specialty controls here. It's just 2 joysticks. There's no flight yoke. There's no steering wheel. I just don't need that. And to spend $2,500 for this thing when I can play it pretty close to the original, obviously it's not the same, but I just don't feel this, this loss. I don't feel like I'm missing that much. And that's kind of the point of this. People are going to spend $600 plus for this cabinet when it's released. And whether they're familiar with it or not, I really think that they're quickly going to realize that this is not something that I can play competitively. Now, many of the normies that just buy this stuff, maybe they don't give a shit. Maybe they just want this thing to look at. And that's great. If that's what you want some fancy artwork, you want a washed out marquee, and you want a small screen, then this is for you. If you want something that is better, then by all means, get the heaviest cabinet you can play it on. And I just don't see anybody that's buying this throwing in a cinder block or some sandbags. I don't see it happening. I really don't. They're not going to build this thing and then throw in some stuff like that. They're also not going to bolt it to the wall. But these cabinets move. I'm telling you. You're playing this game aggressively, very, very aggressively. Whether you mean to or not, it happens. Trust me. My cabinet even moves from time to time. I even sometimes lift up the control panel, which is slanted, and it's on it can rotate, obviously, so I can get to the buttons. But even that, sometimes I find myself lifting up on because you're just so aggressive when you're playing. And to play it any other way is not playing it the right way, in my opinion. There's also a comment that was in a weekly stream called the Weekly Retro Party. Overthink Gaming even said when all this was brought up that he had some reservations about this being released on an Arcade1up because he saw people at a convention. I believe that's what he said.
But I've seen a person play a Robotron at one of the conventions.
They lifted it off the ground?
And they were lifting it off the ground. That was the real cabinet. I'm just worried about that dual stick. You're going to be breaking that little cardboard arcade, man. Just a little worried about that.
So think about this. That real Robotron cabinet, Jesus Christ, that thing's got away. I don't even know what to, 300 pounds. Hold on here. Damn it. But if you're getting movement from that, if I'm getting movement from mine at about 160 something pounds, you're going to get some serious movement. As I said in my video, that thing's going to be flopping around like a fish. No pun intended.
An Arcade1up at half that weight will be flopping around like a fish.
And it's just not the right way to play it. And again, the control panel's probably not going to be spaced out very well. So for Mike to say that he's going to get nostalgia from that, it's got to be based only on looks. That's it. Only on looks. And if you want to throw in the fact that there's leaderboards, which would be really cool, that's the one thing that I would say that I would be jealous of is leaderboards. I've made it very clear in videos. I like leaderboards. I like flexing and showing that, hey, I can get in the top 10 or whatever, whether it's on the pinball leaderboards or on the Switch or whatever. Pac-Man 99, stuff like that. But they didn't have that back then, so I'm not sure how you're getting nostalgia from that. But again, I just don't see the nostalgia unless you're basing it on the way something looks and the marquee and the cabinet design. That's really all that you're paying Canadian prices, which would be over $1,000, well, close to $1,000 probably. I'm speculating, but I know Mike has said before there's a lot of fees involved when you're buying an Arcade1up and having it shipped to Canada. So again, I just don't get it. And Mike, if you're watching this, if you're listening, I doubt you are, but if you are, I would love to come on the show and talk about it. You know, just have a little chat, very friendly. You had the iArcadians on recently. That went okay. It had a rocky start, but it went okay. And I would love to just kind of debate you why you need an Arcade1up that is clearly inferior to give you this nostalgia. It's not going to give you that. I hate to tell you. The artwork and the cabinet design, again, it's only for looks. Playing the game is what matters. And as long as you got two joysticks, as long as you got the right spacing, as long as that thing isn't flopping around and it's heavy, and you got the actual marquee, you know, being displayed digitally, why would you need something else? I'm not telling you how to spend your money. I'm just saying it makes absolutely no sense. And I'm not saying boycott Arcade1up. I'm just saying this is an awesome game, and it deserves to be played the right way. And an Arcade1up, it's not the right way. I hate to say it. Now, it hasn't come out, so again, this is all speculation, and I could be proven wrong, and I'll eat crow if I have to, believe me. I'm not gonna sit there and say that, oh, see, it's a piece of shit. But I want some honest reviews. I want people to really, really review it, and people that have actual knowledge of the original, people that have actually played it, not somebody that, oh, I just got this, so I don't really, never really was a fan of it, or I never played it back then. Somebody that knows the original and then compares it to that. That's what I want to see. You know, give me a Retro Ralph, She Lion, somebody that has some knowledge of this. You know, I've said before, I played this game very recently in the past year on real arcade hardware. Twice I played this thing, the real arcade game. I've showed that in my previous video, so I know how it's supposed to play, and I did play it back then when I was younger. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video, I think. Hopefully, you didn't get my crotch on screen the whole time. I have no idea, you know, how it sounds, how it looks here. Again, hopefully it's not on my crotch. I do apologize for the crude setup. I'm out in a kayak. You know, I don't have a professional rig. I don't have professional lighting, tripods, none of that shit. I'm just working with what I got here. So hopefully you can forgive that. And yeah, oh shoot, one just jumped right here. Be nice to get that on camera. This growth makes it really, really difficult. It's pretty much weedless anything at this point. And even going way out, some of that growth is there. So normally I would use some kind of a swim bait, and I'm still running into stuff, which sucks. It really sucks. I do like to use, spinner baits around the bank. Can't use that. Obviously, rattle traps as I get a little further out. I love me some rattle traps. And now I'm just relegated to a frog because I don't have my spinning set up, and I don't have any rubber worms that I can throw in here. So yeah, that's that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hopefully you can get a view of this this surrounding here. It is absolutely beautiful. I would love to live here. Keep telling my sister, you gotta let me know some houses go up for sale, because this is the fucking life that I want to live. I'm telling you. All right, guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Turn on the notification bell so you know when I upload videos like this one right here. And let me know your thoughts about Robotron and Arcade1up. Do you think they can pull this off the right way? Honestly, be honest. The right way. Do you even give a shit if this thing's going to weigh 80 pounds and you're playing a dual joystick game? Does that bother you? Would that bother you? Let me know, guys. Come on. Let's be honest here. Let's give this game the justice that it deserves. If it is that iconic, Mike, don't buy an Arcade1up. Just for some artwork. Put some artwork on your ALU. That gets you a little bit closer, I think, wouldn't it, to the actual thing? So, all right, guys. I'm going to do some more fishing and some more drinking. Later.